Hello everyone, I trust that you are safe and well and you're doing your absolute best to do all the activities that your teachers have been putting up on Show My Homework. Now what I've got for you over the next couple of weeks is a unit on music technology. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to learn what music technology is. We're going to learn about different software and hardware that we need to record, and then using that knowledge we're going to record onto a track using Maxcraft. Now, it's really just the basics we're going to talk about today, but over the course of the unit, we will develop our skills into learning about different effects and different recording techniques. But by the end of this lesson, I'd like us to be able to say that we can really understand the term music technology. We can list different hardware and software requirements, and also that we can record into Maxcraft. To start us off, what I'd like you to do is to have a think about what music technology is. Now, that might be different apps or different pieces of hardware that you can use to record. Whatever you think that is associated with music technology. Now, there is a pause in the PowerPoint for about 30 seconds, so I'll speak to you just once that's done. In simple terms, music technology is the use of any device to make, record or edit sounds. Now, music technology isn't something that is brand new. We have had music technology from the very first instrument that was discovered. So when we were making flutes out of wood, that was all music technology because they were making this new device to produce sound. Now, on the PowerPoint, I've put on two devices there, a MIDI keyboard and a sampler or launchpad. Now they are operated by pushing the buttons to make the sounds for recording. We can also record using different microphones, perhaps for a song or radio broadcasts, but we also do have different pieces of software that we can use to edit and engineer sounds. Now I've put two on the PowerPoint for example. So the first one down the bottom is Audacity. Now that's a completely free software that you can download yourself that will allow you to record and edit sounds. We've also got GarageBand. Now that's only on use on Apple products, so if you've got an Apple device, that's absolutely free to download as well. Have a look at their loops. You can start making your own beats and things to start getting going by yourself. Now there is going to be a little clip now that's going to tell you a wee bit more about music technology.
Making music doesn't have to be mysterious. Anyone can have a go. And today's technology makes it even easier for you to have a crack at making your own music. To our ears, a finished song might sound so perfect, so amazing, that it's hard to imagine how it was put together. But a track or a piece of music is usually made up of ingredients, elements that with a bit of listening, you can start to separate in your mind. Take this song. So, first off, here's the beat. That's usually a drum pattern, and it's the motor of the tune driving it forward. Now here's the bass. Here's the rhythm, and here's the melody. Those are all just sounds, a beat, a series of bass notes, a series of chords, and a pattern of notes forming a tune. Each of those sounds was made and then combined together using computer programs and musical software. But you don't need a professional recording studio and loads of money. Smartphones and computers can run software and apps that allow you to make music the same way the professionals do. Listen to the people already doing it, like 15-year-old Happer, who's making amazing electronic dance music.
It's just becoming so much more accessible and cheaper, and pretty much anyone can start just in their bedroom, just with a computer.
So you can use these brilliant apps and programs to make amazing music wherever you are, at home, at school with your friends, or out and about. And now is an amazing time for us to be making music. But don't just take my word for it. Here's Radio 1 host and club DJ, Monkey.
Thing is now is like it's so easy to make music if you wanted to compared to like 20 years ago. You don't need a big studio, you don't need lots of analog equipment that costs loads of money. You can simply buy a laptop and buy the software and get going straight away.
And what about Ellie Goulding's producer, Starsmith?
The possibilities on some of the apps are crazy about where you can go with drums or different synth sounds and things like that. It's a completely different way of thinking as opposed to drawing it in with a keyboard and a mouse, and it really takes you out of your comfort zone, but in a really good way.
Now, music and technology have always worked together. Musicians have always tried creating their own electronic instruments. Think of the electric guitar. Nowadays, I can use the technology to take the guitar in a completely different direction. This loop pedal only needs a few notes in order for me to create a brand new world of sound. Not a bad little melody. There's loads of different ways you can make beats. You can get a whole drum kit on your phone, or you can use a MIDI keyboard and some friends to create the kind of rhythm you want. I can compose on a MIDI keyboard too, and I don't have to read music to do that. I can pick it out as I go along. You can play any instrument you can imagine on these keyboards. In fact, some musicians write their whole song just using a keyboard. Dan Smith from Bastille and his producer Mark Crew have written a lot of songs, including Laura Palmer.
Like a normal piano sound, and then you can very easily change that to the sort of distorted electric piano. We use it quite a lot on the album.
You can now get libraries of samples loaded onto your computer, and you can start building up whole songs on your own using them. Or try out a bit of kit that lets you physically improvise and create a tune on the spot. Technology hasn't just changed the way that we create sound. Once you've got all this amazing music at your fingertips, you want to be able to record it. Music used to be recorded on one of these. Audio tape. The tape used to physically be cut up to make the track. And now, the audio tape has been replaced by the computer. Computer software will give you a timeline. Basically, that's the blank tape. And you can start to add those different elements onto the timeline. The beat, the bass line, the melody, the sample, and the vocal.
So hopefully that's given you a bit more of an understanding into what music technology is nowadays. Now, for your first task, what I'd like you to do is to make a list of equipment that you might think we would need to record a guitar. Now, don't worry if you can't list all of the things that we might need to record, but I want you to have a go at thinking in terms of hardware and software. Now, just to remind you, hardware means a physical piece of equipment, so for example like a microphone, and software is something we would have on the computer. So I just want to have a think, what would we need to record a guitar? Okay, so I hope you got on okay with your music technology task, identifying the equipment you might need to record a guitar. Now I'm going to show you, for example, what I would perhaps use whilst I'm at home to record a guitar. Now I have my microphone, and I'm sure most of you would have realised that you do need a microphone to capture the audio. I've got it sitting on a microphone stand, but what some of you might not have got was the type of cable that we need to record. Now I have plugged in a cable called an XLR cable, plugging in one end into the microphone and one end into this box. Now this little box is an audio interface and it allows the computer to speak to the microphone. Now having plugged one end into the interface, on the back of the interface we also need another cable that will feed into the computer. Now this is just a USB cable, and you'll also see that on my computer screen I have a digital audio software called Maxcraft, and having all that set up and working properly, I'll be able to record the guitar into any of the tracks that I have set up here. Now I'm going to show you how we're actually going to record. Now I've got my microphone and the rest of the equipment already set up the way they've talked about already. I've also got my guitar, which I'm going to record. Now I want you to notice the distance between the microphone and the guitar. Now I would say it's about 30 centimeters away, so not too close and not too far away either, in order to capture a good quality recording. Now what I need to do in order to get the microphone and the interface to interact with the software that we have is to press this little button up here called ARM. Now when I press this button, the button will go red and the top part will become activated, and you'll see that every time that I speak, a green signal will be put through the top channel. So there is the green signal showing that the microphone is now set up and ready to record. So I have my microphone and I've got my guitar. Now I'm going to just play something really simple, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now what I need to do whilst I'm playing this is to ensure that the signal is still saying green. Now on my audio interface, there is a dial called mic gain. Can you see that there? Now it kind of works the same way as a volume control, but what gain does is it tells the computer how much signal to put through the microphone. Now the higher the gain, the more signal that is being put through the microphone, and the lower the gain, the less the signal. Now what I need to do with my gain is to ensure that the signal still stays within the green. Now if I was to turn up the gain and continue speaking the way I am, now you'll notice the higher I turn up the gain, the signal will change into yellow, and if I started to shout, it would go into the red. Now obviously when I'm recording the guitar, I probably won't need too much gain. That's far too much, so I'll bring that down to about 1 o'clock and then give that a little go. Now that I've tested the signal a couple of times with me playing the guitar and changing the gain where it's suitable, I'm now ready to record. Now this is the part you'll all know really well. All I have to do in order to get this now to record is to press this red button down the bottom. And you'll see it's now moving across the screen with signal as I'm speaking. Now if I was to pull this back to you, and you'll see it's now moving across the screen, that we have a good clear signal. Just in that last clip, just to say don't worry about the buzzing, that is just the noise of the computer that's been picked up. Okay, so here goes. I've got my microphone set up, I'm happy with the signal, and I've tested it knowing that it captures a really good sound, so I'm now going to try and press record and record what I would like. Okay, so here is my marvelous guitar playing that I have recorded, and if I was to press play to you again, you'll see and hear hopefully a quality recording. Okay, now I also know this is a clear recording because you can see the sound waves. Now if I was to set the gain too low on my interface, then the sound waves would be really, really small, as the recording would be very quiet. On the other hand, if it was set far too loud, the whole thing would be black because the sound waves are far too high. Okay, so hopefully that's shown you how easy it is to set up recording equipment and to record something very simple. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is on the next couple of slides, there are some questions that I'd like you to answer and submit to me on Show My Homework no later than Monday, the 11th of May. Now, these answers could be just typing into the Show My Homework chat, or it could also be by taking a picture and submitting it that way. Now, I look forward to seeing your answers and hearing from you. And I'd like to just say that in the next couple of weeks, we'll explore more in terms of music technology, in terms of effects and recording techniques. Okay, so on the next couple of slides, there are 2 parts to your quick quiz. The first of which is asking you to label the picture on the right hand side of the screen with the parts that we've talked about on the left hand side of the screen. Just number them 1 to 7 and match them up for me, please. The second part is asking you to answer the following questions below. Now, feel free to pause the video so that you can see what they are before we finish off. So just finishing off now with our success criteria. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's lesson and are looking forward to the new ones to come. But recapping today, we have or should now be able to understand the term music technology. We can now list different hardware and software requirements to record, and we've seen how we can record into Maxcraft.